Why can I not think? I turn on the camera and then I lose all thought process. The armrest. There we go. I think I'm gonna dirty up. Welcome back to the workbench, where we try to make things. And what we're continuing to try to make today is Revell's 1971 Olds 442, or what we're calling the Faux 42, because it's going to be like a Cutlass that we've turned into a 442. So back in the day when you'd have a Cutlass and you wanted it to be a little cooler, you make it look like an Olds 442. In fact, we're gonna make it like an old 442 W30. And what we're working on right now for this build is the interior. And last time we got together, we kind of created a rip in the seat. So not only is it, made to look like a 442, but it might not be in the best shape either. It's just a vehicle that we owned when we were in our early 20s, and we would take down to the drag strip and have a good time in, and didn't really, I guess, necessarily care about making it a classic car, making it, not touching it, not parking it in a garage and making sure it stay pristine. No, this was a car that we drove, that we took out on Friday nights and had grudge matches with. That kind of vehicle. Yeah, right now, so we're working on the interior. It has a ripped interior, or at least a ripped driver's seat. Every car I ever had a ripped driver's seat. So we did that last time. I did go ahead and paint in the silver on the sides. If you guys can see that, there's a little silver that goes on the back, and of course it's nice and dirty. I've started doing the same thing for the passenger seat. I've got it dirtied up. I still have to, this one I have to paint in the silver yet. The little, I don't know what they are, trim pieces or bars. They're actually, in my old Buick, they were actually structural. They were part of the hinge device in the car. I'm assuming these were probably the same way. But anyways, we've got that done. And then I've started on the center console also, which of course is set up with a automatic, what do you call this, gear shift. It has the automatic gear shift set up in it, because this is not a real 442, so it's not going to have a 4-speed. It's going to have an automatic transmission, a turbo hydro 400. I'm assuming it would be, because this is going to have the 455 in it. But anyway, so that's, I think I need to add some silver in here. I'm sure I need to look at some pictures online and go hit up the research department and see exactly what this looked like. I'm assuming there should at least be a little bit of white right down. Where do I have to point with? I would think this would be white right here where it had the gear indicator. So the park, reverse drive, 1-2 kind of indicator right here. That should at least be white. So I need to go in and touch that in. I don't know if it had any silver trim in the center console. I've got to look at that if there's, because as you can see, I am using the wood grain. These are the decals from the kit. I'm not sure if it had silver trim around that or not. If it does, I'm gonna have to try to paint that in. I do know that it had silver trim on the door panel. So here's our first door panel, which I think is looking pretty good. Again, I kind of dirtied it up, and I went in and painted some silver. In fact, you can tell this is the way I did it on, at least, I don't know. I mean, this is how I did this. So these decals do actually have a silver trim around them, the wood grain decal, that is. But I went ahead and painted in the silver. I just went ahead and painted it all in, but all the way to the trim, just in case any of that doesn't show, or you have that, you know what I mean? Like the decal doesn't quite cover. So I went ahead and painted that all in silver and then added the decals on top. And I think it came out pretty good. I still need to add, these are still a little bit wet. And I need to go back and add some decal set over top of this yet once it fully dries. But yeah, I think it's going to look pretty good. And it had the cutout for, the decal had the cutout for the window crank in the back, which I did go in and kind of paint the little knobs and whatnot on the window cranks. I'm not sure if those are exactly the right color, but I know mine. In fact, now that I think about it, I think these were actually silver. I need to go back and paint so it had a handle. I'm trying to remember the colors. I think this was all silver, so I might change that back to silver right here, the hinge, the rotation point. But I remember mine had knobs on it that were kind of clear color. They're like an off clear. I don't know how to say that, but it didn't take long till they were very yellowed. So that's what I was trying to make these knobs look like. But now that I think about it, this should actually be silver. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. Anyways, let me know. Anybody? I guess I could again consult the research department. But I'm assuming they had the same. I'm assuming all the GMA bodies, and probably in fact all the GMs from 70, 71, 72, they use that same. I'm sure they all use the same little knob on all the vehicles. That's kind of what they did. So that's what I was trying to make that look like. Anyways, it's kind of off-white knobs, but I think all in all, it's looking pretty good. Now, I have not done anything with the tub. In fact, we can put this in, kind of see how it's going to look. The carpet's black. Carpet package tray is black. But yeah, we can kind of see how that's going to look in there. Of course, we can put the seat in also. I think it's going to look pretty good, but I have not actually painted any of this. So what I'm going to do, all this gets painted black except for the seat itself. I have not done that yet because I kind of forgot last episode. We're going to put a little roll cage in. So, the seat will be here. We'll have a cage behind it coming off, coming right here up to the ceiling down. And then I thought we would have at least 4 or probably 5 point, I guess it would be. But anyway, so we'll have the bars that run back, and I'm assuming they're going to come down through the package tray, even if I have to bend them a little bit. I'm going to make them go through the package tray, like they're going back to hit the back frame rails. And then we're going to have a crossbar too that I would want. But I do want the back seat. I was going to leave the back seat in there. So maybe I can't have a cross. I don't know. I have to look and see how that's actually done. If you guys know how you can do that, but leave the back. Like, I don't want it to come down through the seats. It needs to just go back through this rear package tray. So like if I put the door cards go here, there we go, like that, and then we'll have a bar that's coming down basically right here. And then I'll have to put this in the body to make sure all this fits. I need to figure out how I guess I could do a crossbar just here. Like it'll be up above. I don't know. We'll have to see how that's going to work. But I definitely want to get that in before, I need to paint it black, but before I go too far with this, because I need to know where to put the holes for the bars and all that, for them to go through the package tray and where they're going to connect here, all that kind of stuff. And we need that because that's how our harnesses, actually that's the wrong seat. I was going to do, some 5-point, some shoulder straps, so, a crotch strap and a couple lap straps or whatever. But those are going to connect, those shoulder straps are going to connect. And that's why I wanted the crossbar too, because usually, maybe I can just go across, an actual crossbar this way. That's probably what I do, because usually there'll be a crossbar here, and then that's what your shoulder straps will come off of. I don't know, but I need to get all that figured out and put in. So that's why I haven't actually messed with the interior pan too much. Let me know how you would do it. What the best way you think would be. I might just do a hoop, I don't know what you call them, rear bars, and then a crossbar. I think that's, now that I'm just basically thinking out loud here, y'all are getting to witness me brainstorm a little bit. I'm sure it's very exciting. But yeah, I think that's going to be the game plan. Let me know what you think. How about, the hoop, bars going back through the package tray, and then a crossbar here that will have, and that crossbar will, be, well, yeah, because you would have that crossbar anyways. Oh, wow, I'm still thinking out loud. So you would have a crossbar for your hoop, and maybe we'll still put an angled bar going back this way. I don't know. But we'll definitely have that crossbar for our harnesses to hook up to, which I think will look really cool in there with kind of the stock seat and the harnesses, just, I don't know, just making it past tech or whatever kind of thing. But let me know what you think so far. I think this, I'm very happy with the seat. I think it turned out really well, and I'm happy with how I think I'm going to kind of dirty up and damage the, what is this called? Why can I not think? I turn on the camera and then I lose all thought process. The armrest. There we go. I think I'm going to dirty up this armrest and maybe even put a little rip in it like I did here, because that's where you drive and you rest your arm there. Actually, and it's not going to be this one. It's going to be this one, right? Yeah, the driver's side one. So I think I'll dirty up this one, kind of give it a little rip or whatever, make it a lot like it's being used. That armrest is being used. And then leave the passenger side a little cleaner, which is what I tried to do also with the seat. I tried to leave it a little cleaner. But anyways, let me know what you think. I'm starting to ramble on. I'm having a lot of fun with this build. That's why I've been kind of focusing on it. And we do need to get back to the Thunderbird build and the Ford F100. This will come to a natural stopping point at some point where I'm going to need to get parts in. So that's when we'll kind of jump back onto those builds. But for now, I'm having a blast with it. Let me know what you think. Are you enjoying watching this build? Let me hear about your ideas down in the comment section. I really am trying to use your input to kind of I mean, a lot of this is a lot of the colors and what we're doing here has come from your guys' input. So let me hear it down in the comment section. Hit the like button, hit the hype button, hit the subscribe button. Do all those things everybody tells you to do on YouTube, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.